Hang on, I'm having some technical difficulties here. Okay. Welcome. We bid you welcome to Monday Night Metal live on this September 15th. And I got Metal Roger with me tonight. How you doing, brother?
Alive. It's always my answer.
Well, that's half the battle. That's always half the battle, just being alive and being ready to go. So you gave me the topic, and this is a topic I haven't discussed in a little while. So this will be a good one to talk about. So we'll talk a little bit about some of our favorite concert memories. And I thought, I'm not really even sure what I was gonna talk about tonight, but I kind of rummaged through my ticket stubs here and tried to pull out some stuff that see what I can talk about and kind of go from there. But Roger, I'm going to let you start off. The floor is yours, my friend.
Oh, fine. I will talk about. Let's see. There's two from this one concert. So me and my buddy, who at the time had a bigger beard than me, we're in the beer tent, and this random guy comes up to me, and I'm gonna swear, I'm sorry.
Oh wow.
He goes and looks at me. He's like, "Holy fuck! Look at you two! I gotta buy you two a beer."
Oh gosh.
I'm like, "What?" He's like, "The beards, I love them." I'm like, "You're not gonna drug me, are you?" And then he said, "No." And then I said, "Why not?" And then this became my friend, whose name is Walter. He's not with us anymore, but it's weird. Not weird, but around here, like all the same people go to metal shows.
Mm-hmm.
It's cool. Like we all see each other. I'll be seeing a bunch of them on Tuesday when I see Bruce, not Springsteen, Dickinson.
I wouldn't want to go. I wouldn't want to go see Bruce Springsteen. No.
But yeah, no, I miss Walter. He was mayor metal. He would go to everything, and I have no idea how he could afford it. Dude paid $5,000 to meet Ozzy. I said, "How did you? How?" And I was like, "What do you do for a living? Like, do you sell feet pictures or something?" Like, what the hell? He's like, "You're gross." I'm like, "I don't know how you have this money." He met the fucking Scorpions too, and all kinds of people. It's like, ugh.
Oh
every
man.
he would go to every single concert, even local bands.
Right.
Anyway, the second story from that stupid, I should say stupid. This was stupid though. I was in the mosh pit, and my nose broke, and I went to the side of the mosh pit, and I resetted it.
Nice.
And that's why I can't smell things to this day.
And here you
One of my favorite bands, Every Time I Die. And people kept taking my picture. It was weird. And then somebody came up to me finally and said, "You're bleeding." I said, "What?" And then I felt it, and I felt my nose. I was like, "Oh, God damn it." Anyway.
Oh, God.
And believe it or not, ladies and gentlemen, that's not the craziest thing you'll hear out of me this evening.
Oh, I'm sure. So, yeah. So just so everybody's, I'm just going to let Roger just go, just run loose and, so
well,
parental guidance is suggested for tonight. So, I talked about this show. I talked about this. I'll start with one of mine. So this was a concert that I mentioned just the other night when I was on Grants Rock Warehouse talking about 1995 tracks, and I did. No, I talked about this for 1994. Excuse me. We haven't done 1995 yet. Anyway, let me see. Halgard, how you doing, brother? Don't have much live shows experience, but okay.
I wanted to go to that actually, and in Quebec, I was considering it, and then I thought no, because I don't like French people for the most part.
Oh Lord.
And oh, I don't know if you've ever. Oh, they're so rude. If you don't speak or like French to them, they get all like, come on, like, give me a break.
And folks, Roger's Canadian here, so just throwing that out there. We just gotta,
Yeah, we're not all nice.
Well,
some of us are.
Ladano's some of you are. Some of you are. Well, and
Jax.
Yeah, Jax is good.
I can't think of anyone else.
Well, there is one I'm trying to think of, and his name is escaping me.
The members of Rush.
No, I'm thinking from the doctor from the DDPY community.
The doc? I don't know.
Has the mustache. He's over in Guelph.
Marcel.
Marcel, thank you. Yeah,
I'm glad he would never watch this because I visit him at least once a year.
Yeah, Marcel's cool. I haven't seen him in a while, but
this might be the first year I haven't seen him in a while. Maybe I'll see what he's doing on the. You just reminded me of something. Thank you.
Anyway, back to concerts. So I'm gonna just blow this. I'm gonna make myself big here again. I talked about this on Grants Rock Warehouse a little bit. I got to see Pantera back in 1995, and actually, let me keep this big. My dime bag pick here. So I got that. So that was a pretty cool thing. So Typo Negative was the opening act. They played to kind of a half-empty arena at the time. It took them a little while to fill them up, and I think Peter Steele was kind of sounding like he was being pretty self-deprecating. I think he thought that we were bored to death by the band or something like that. I guess he was always known for being like that. But no, Pantera took the stage, and man, it was a great show. A lot of great tracks, a lot of fun, time. It was great to be up close and personal to the stage. Although the memory of there's a couple of memories I have from this night. One, by the time I got home, and this, mind you, I'm still living in Salisbury, Maryland at the time. And this is like the end of February, so it was pretty cold that night. And between the cigarette smoke, the marijuana smoke, the beer, the stage smoke, and the fog machine smoke, and God knows what other smoke was around in the I had quite the aroma on me. Smelled like I rolled around in a manure pit or something. So yeah, that wasn't too good for when I got home. But let's also note this. Let's look at that ticket price. $20 general admission. I don't know if you can't really see it. It's kind of glare. Oh, there you go. Yeah, $20 general admission. I was supposed to go see Pantera again this past week, but unfortunately that show canceled, so that didn't happen. Up in Upper Darby. Yeah, I know where Upper Darby is. Being a Lehigh Valley boy myself. So yeah, I know about Upper Darby and Sacred Reich. Wow, that would have been a great show. Sacred Reich and Pantera in '93. Ooh, that would have been a great show. But I want to give my friend Mike a few props here.
Hey,
not Mike Ladano, different Mike. This is my brother in blood, Mike, that I've known since I was 15, and or maybe earlier. But he's always been he's been my brother for the longest time, and he actually drove down for this show, and he came and hung out with me that weekend, and he went to the show, and at some point I lost him. I didn't know where he disappeared to during the show, and I would find out that he was out roaming about, and I'll just say he met somebody, they went into a broom closet and, well, there you go. Go figure. Anyway, so there you go. That was that's my first. But yeah, Pantera was great that night. It was great to be able to snag a pick when Dine just threw a bunch of them up in the air at the end of the show, and but yeah, it was a really good show. So Roger, go for it. Give me another one.
Okay, the first concert after the pandemic. And
yeah,
look, I have props.
Nice.
Anyway, it was at the newest venue that wasn't a shit show like Rogers Stadium.
Oh no.
I missed System of a Down because I didn't want to deal with crap. Anyway, it was like people were, it was like I can't explain the atmosphere, but there is a funny story from that night that they literally just opened, and I don't think they ever really experienced a metal show, some of the people that worked there, because Drake owns the venue. I'm pretty sure he just hired some of his buddies. Anyway, they had security inside the mosh pit. Inside the circle itself. I'm like, what the hell's this?
Okay.
And the person looked scared to their life. Like,
yeah, I probably would be too.
Yeah, I'm like, what's going on? I'm like, I hope they figure out how to run a metal show sooner or later, which they did. It's funny. I didn't know I had 2 picks from that. This is the other pick from that day too.
Oh, nice. Okay, that's the other guitar player.
Nah, Scotty in through a bunch of.
Okay.
So I got
kind of like the Jimmy Page song remains the same thing when they do that time warp thing, maybe.
Yeah, I got 3 and I gave one away because I'm not a selfish asshole. So.
Oh my.
At least I try not to be. More about that later.
Well, Jake's asking, that was Kurt Russell in the Thing, from the Thing, right?
I don't know what the heck that is.
Show that pickup. Show that pickup again. Yeah, that's Kurt Russell from the Thing movie.
It says this: anyone touches me and we go.
Yeah, there you go. So
I don't watch horror movies because my wife's a wimp.
Oh geez.
She'll never watch this, but she's a wimp.
Wow.
We've watched one horror movie the entire 9 years.
Oh my.
We've been together. Anyway, more about her later.
Oh, okay. Well, speaking of mosh pits, so I'll give a story about a mosh pit that I got to witness once. And this was about 2003, and this was here in the this is here in the Birmingham area. And by the way, I'm going to just say one thing. I have never seen John Carpenter's The Thing yet.
I haven't either.
I've been told by many that I need to, so I do need to go see it. So one of these days I'm going to. Anyway, so 2003, this is here in Birmingham, and this is kind of like a hardcore show. There was like a bunch of bands that were supposed to be at this thing, and a few of them ended up backing out. Like I think, there was some like big band that was supposed to be there, and I can't remember now who it is, but one of the bands that I do remember the name of was this band called Walls of Jericho. You ever hear of them?
Yeah.
Okay. Female singer who looks like she could probably kick your butt with no problem. She
was frightening.
She was frightening.
Didn't she move on to I Wrestled a Bear once?
I don't know about that, but
I might be wrong.
I'm not totally sure. But anyway, no, not Chris Jericho. That was his finishing move. No, this band was called Walls of Jericho. Hardcore band. female singer or metalcore band, something along that line,
Metalcore.
something like that. Well, anyway, so there was, and there's, some push pits and stuff, mosh pits kind of broke out, some dance pits and all that kind of stuff. Well, there was this one guy, and I kind of think he couldn't have been very he couldn't have been very um he couldn't have been very old. He was probably in his young 20s or something like that. And now he's standing there and he's just gawking at the singer from Walls of Jericho. And I'm talking like practically playing with himself, gawking.
And this is how frightening she looks now.
I'm gonna make you big here. Whoop, not me. Okay, yeah. Sorry, I can't. Never mind. Can't seem to make you big here.
Damn it, Dano.
Hold on. There we go. Go ahead. Try again. Here we go.
There you go. There she is.
Yes.
That's just a lot of weight. I don't know how much.
Right. So, all right. So there's this kid, and he, like I said, couldn't have been more than 20, between 20 and 25. And he's just looking at her like, he's like really dorky looking, looks like he's playing with himself all at the same time.
Which happened at a Korn concert recently.
I'm not surprised. Well, she starts giving him crap from the stage, and he's just standing there like he's just taking it all in, and he's just being whatever about it. And so all the while I'm seeing the circle pits kind of getting a little closer, and one guy finally came and just literally pounced him out of his shoes. And I never saw the kid the rest of the night, but he got knocked out of the area for quite the rest of the night. And it was hilarious. But that dude had it coming to him because he was just being such a dumbass the whole time. But it was absolutely hilarious. And they were really good. Walls of Jericho was really, really good that night too. So I can't, like I said, I don't remember any of the other bands that were supposed to have been there that night and who actually played, but it was definitely a fun night. But yeah, watching that kid get pounced out of his shoes was probably the fun thing at a mosh pit I've ever seen. So
I did that before to someone at a Warped Tour. Some poor girl fell on the ground and some guy actually kicked her. So I tapped him on the shoulder and then punched him.
Oof.
And then people clapped for me like this. I was like, thank you.
Yeah, I would have too. All right, go ahead, Rod. Go ahead.
This is the first pick I ever got at a concert. It is the mighty
Nice.
LaRock's got to be like the most underrated guitarist.
Yeah.
He's definitely in the top 3. Him and Kai from Halloween.
Yeah.
Like 1, 2 to me, but
yeah,
that was a great concert. I don't know how the hell King Diamond. Hold on. That was, I think, in 2014, maybe. Anyway, my point is, I saw him last year, and he still sounds perfect. I don't know how that's possible. I don't know if he sacrifices goats. I don't know. It shouldn't, like, even Rob Halford kind of lost a bit of his vocals.
Oh, there you go, Ash.
Maybe I'll go to. He's from Australia.
He's down in Australia, yeah.
I should go there. No, I've spent enough money. They were great too. More about that concert later.
I was gonna say I've only seen Metallica once, believe it or not. I've never seen them more than that.
That they're going to be mentioned twice tonight. So
there you go.
But
There
no,
you
I
go.
saw Suicidal previously.
Yeah.
Actually, can I go into my next memory?
Yeah. Go ahead. Go ahead.
My buddy randomly entered in the contest.
Oh boy.
It's okay. He does streaking,
Well,
and
I
that's
was
not
gonna say King
complete.
Diamond's voice is kind of like it is kind of an acquired taste. For him to be able to go from that high falsetto to the growly kind of voice, that sometimes that's kind of that is a yeah, that was interesting. So, all right, go ahead. Go ahead.
Anyway, my friend entered a contest to
Mm-hmm.
meet Slipknot,
Oh yeah.
and I said, I'm going to enter this contest to spite you, and I hope I win. And I won.
Oh God.
He was so mad. Anyway, we had so they gave us like $200 worth of free booze.
Oh
So I
God.
gave him booze tickets. He was happy. But me and Slipknot was cool. I met Corey Taylor, and
Yeah.
I said to Corey Taylor, there's only 3 autographs I would ask for. I said, Hetfield, him, and Hulk Hogan, and he laughed at Hulk Hogan. He said, I would too.
Well, at least you can still get 2 of the 3. You just can't get Hogan's anymore. But
Technically, I
guess.
gave it away to my cousin. He was pissed I didn't bring
Yeah.
him, which is another subject that's not even to be talked about. That decision still haunts me.
Right.
But that concert was crazy too.
Yeah.
And to segue to Suicidal, that's the first time I saw them.
Yeah.
And I had to leave early, sadly, because I had to meet Slipknot.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Right.
But holy crap, some of their fans are lunatics.
I can
And I
imagine.
thought I was crazy, which more about how crazy I am later.
You crazy? No. All right. So my next little thing I'm going to talk about here, and I went through my stack here, so I'm just kind of picking them up as I go. So I'm going to make myself big so you can see which one I'm doing here. So this is the Scorpions from September 2nd, 1988. And this was at the Allentown Fair. Look at that price again, $17. All right, we'll take that, right? Whoop, that's not what I meant to do. Anyway, so Kingdom Come was the opening band. So this was kind of right after the Monsters of Rock tour that they were just doing. It was them and Kingdom Come, and I forget who else was on that tour. But anyway, anybody in the chat, help me out. 1988 Monsters of Rock tour, some kind of summer tour. This was this Savage Amusement tour. So it was a good show. Only time I've ever seen the Scorpions. And Kingdom Come was actually really good too. I know everybody says they sounded like Zeppelin, which was right, but they still sounded really good. They still kind of had their own thing. But Scorpions sounded really good. It was great to see them. I love being able to see like Coast to Coast and Holiday and Rock You Like a Hurricane, all those great songs. Okay. Did you ever get to see them, Ashley? That's the question. So, but
they're one of my not bucket list, but a band I have to see eventually.
Right. So now I was supposed to see the Scorpions again. I'm going to blow up again. And you see here, I was supposed to see them on July 31st, 1991. Look at this lineup: Scorpions, Great White, and Aldo Nova. Now, and this was up in Merriweather Post Pavilion. So this is up in that was up in about 2 hours away from us. So from where I lived in Maryland. And sadly, we drive up there pre-internet, and we get to the venue. right before the concert was, letting when the doors were supposed to open or whatever. Parking lot as empty as can be. Concert had been canceled about a week or so earlier. But because we did not have, there was no such thing as the internet yet. We didn't know. We drove all that way up there for nothing. That would not be the first time that's happened to me. More on that a little later. Roger, go for it.
I can't find my Iron Maiden prop, but last year I saw Iron Maiden finally.
Nice.
And first, Wife Story. They played the day before Metallica with Ghost, and I was going to buy tickets, and my wife told me no.
Oh, no.
And I was so mad. And Liz actually likes Ghost quite a bit, which is weird because Liz doesn't. I don't. She's weird. She likes metal, but she doesn't like metal. She likes rock, and yet doesn't. And her country music makes me want to jump out of the car. So,
well,
but
if it's the modern country, yes. If it's Johnny Cash, no.
Yeah, it's the modern boy band like country. Ugh, it's terrible. But anyway, you really notice the difference between like qualities of singers when you see someone legendary like Bruce, who I'm seeing tomorrow, ironically.
Right.
Which that'll be interesting because I know only Tears of the Dragon. And whatever his first single was off of the Mandrake project. I can't think of the damn song. I'm going to look. But yeah, I literally I was like, see Bruce Dickinson in a cup or a club? Yes. I don't see why not.
Yeah.
Can't be terrible.
No.
Afterglow of Ragnarok. That's a tongue twister.
Right. Yeah, I confess I really don't. The only album I've really heard of Bruce's solo stuff was really Tattooed Millionaire. I never listened to anything past it for whatever reason. I don't know. I wasn't totally into Tattooed Millionaire. Some of it was okay. Son of a Gun was a good song, but I don't know. I didn't remember much else being that really something that really grabbed me, I guess. So I didn't really. I've heard that last album he did was really, really good, but I just never got back at that.
The couple songs I listened to actually are really good.
Okay.
They're really, really heavy.
Yeah.
Oh,
all right.
Who wants to answer this first? You or me?
Go ahead. Go ahead. You first.
Metallica with Cliff.
Yeah. Yes, and I'm going to jump on that because I knew so many classmates that went to see Metallica when they opened for Ozzy, and I wasn't able to go to that show, and I wanted to, and yeah, I didn't get to see it. I never got to see the Metallica. Look who this is. Holy crap, it's Kyle. It's the phenomenal one.
I should log on now. Anyway, I forgot about something about that concert too. I had frickin' Nico's drum snare not drum snare. You know how he throws out the drum covers signed? I had one in my hand. Yeah. I should have actually fought the guy for it.
Right.
I wouldn't have kept it. So I had a gym mentor who is a big Iron Maiden fan. I was going to give it to him.
Right.
And then he passed away too. He told me some crazy concert stories. Like how he told Gene Simmons to F off.
Oh, yeah. That's brave.
Or not him. His friend told Gene Simmons to F off. And he got mad. And then his friend said, oh, you hear about how Gene Simmons is always pretentious to people and blah, blah, blah. And then, anyway, he ended up being a dick.
All right, so Helgard. So okay, so Ash would have gone to see the Sweet back in Adelaide back in '75. Wow, that's a good one. I've told this story many a time of one that I would go back to watch. Um, I and it would be me. It would require me to have to be there with my brother. Um, I've told the story that my brother got to see the sensational Alex Harvey band at this little theater, this little movie theater we had in our hometown in Northampton, Pennsylvania, called the Roxy. And sometimes there was a time that they had a lot of shows, like Billy Joel played there in his early days. Kiss even played this place. Kiss played this place before Dressed to Kill came out. Lots of other bands played there. And so I've always said that I wish I could have been with my brother to see the sensational Alex Harvey band, because he's really gotten me to like, it was kind of through him that I got to know who the sensational Alex Harvey band was. And I really grown to really like them quite a bit. So, but the story about this concert was, you had to have this, there was a special t-shirt that you had to have. And it glowed in the dark. So as long as you had this shirt and it glowed in the dark, you got in. Now, there were some people who thought, oh, we can get around this. We had a t-shirt printer, nearby, and a lot of people tried to have a bootleg made of the shirt. The only thing they couldn't get was the ability to be able to have it glow in the dark. So if they saw that it wouldn't glow in the dark, well, they weren't allowed in. So, and I think that was partly the promoter. It wasn't an Alex Harvey thing. It was just a promoter thing. But yeah, that was I always say that would be like the one show that I wish I could go back in time to have seen. I think another one for me would have been Ozzy with Randy. Just because how much Randy, I just love Randy Rhoads and his playing, especially on Diary of a Madman. I would have loved to have seen Ozzy with Randy, but I'll get more on that, more with Randy or Ozzy in just a little bit. So there you go.
I'm going to mention another one that's quite painful to me.
Okay.
Motorhead was playing at the concert I was at.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted a good spot for the next band that was playing on the main stage. I had to listen to Weezer just to be at a good spot for Alexis on Fire, who's a great Canadian band, by the way.
Okay.
Anyway, this was in September. Lemmy died in December.
Yeah.
I thought, oh, he's going to live forever. I'll just catch him when Motorhead plays a headline show.
Mm-hmm.
No, never happened. I would have loved to see Lemmy once.
I was supposed to.
Supposedly, I've heard from multiple people, though, he sounded really bad, which makes sense because I agree. He's terrible.
Well,
actually, I shouldn't say that. I like a couple songs, but not enough to. Ugh.
Yeah. Well, when I was supposed to see Motorhead was 1987 with Wasp on the KFD tour. I've told this story many a time. I got to the Electric Factory up in Philly. Show's canceled. Chris Holmes apparently had some kind of knee injury, and he was having to still rehab and was not able to perform that night. So show gets canceled. Now, the other funny thing about that night is, had I been maybe aware that the ECW arena was only about 15 minutes away from where the Electric Factory was in Philly, I could have tried to go to see. And you got a fan.
Oh, well, Kyle's in here.
Kyle's in here too. So I'm glad, Kyle. And now Becky, nice to meet you. Thank you for watching. If I had known that night that the ECW arena was 15 minutes away, and I could have maybe tried to somehow get tickets and somehow gotten into it, That would have been a great night to have been there. You know why? I'll tell you what happened that night. That was the night. That was the night Jerry Lawler showed up.
Ah, I think you told this, but
I may have told you that. I may have told you that story, but yeah, I'm doing great, Becky. Like I said, thank you for tuning in.
Just telling crazy concert stories, and
yeah, telling good.
How crazy I am.
That's right. So, yeah. Oh, okay, Helgard. So you know about this? You know some wrestling too, huh? I'm telling you, dude. We should get. I need to get you on here one of these days. Have I seen Chris Holmes solo? No, I have never seen him solo. I was finally able to see Wasp in 2022, but no, Chris Holmes has never come down this way. So that's not going to happen. Okay. Yeah, that was the night Jerry Lawler invaded the ECW arena and ruptured Dreamer's testicles and all that stuff. So yeah, that was a chaotic night from what I heard. I did not know that I was that close, and I didn't even know that they were having a show that night. But yeah, but more on that weekend in just a little bit. So Roger, go ahead with another concert story.
I'm just thinking, do I have any more crazy ones before the main event? Well, I went to El Scarlet and some woman kept hitting on me, and then my wife almost killed her, but that's not the funny story. Some guy was falling from crowd surfing and I caught him midair somehow.
Oh God.
Actually, not somehow. He didn't weigh a lot.
Yeah.
Anyway, he came up to me after the show and I said, "Thank you for saving his life." And I said, "You're welcome." I was like, it was nothing. I said, "You should eat some food." And at another concert, when I caught someone, I kind of threw them into people. I can't remember what band it was, but I literally caught them and I lifted them up and I threw them and I saw him and the person crash down on the ground and I slowly walked away.
So Helgard's got a good question. Have we been to a disaster story? Any disaster stories other than showing up and no concert being canceled? I can't say I've been to a concert that was like that. Something happened where it probably the closest disaster was having to see Faster Pussycat 3 times. And the second time was during, I saw them with Whitesnake on the Slip of the Tongue tour. And they kept having all kinds of technical problems throughout their set. And they probably sounded better because of it. But they just, every time I saw them, they always sounded like crap. But their albums are kind of fun to listen to. But I can't say I've ever been to a, well, there was a night. There was I'll give you an interesting night. This was in 2003, and I'm in this little venue that's maybe, I don't know. This room is a little tough to really tell, but take about the size of this room and maybe multiply it by 2. Okay. And I was going to see this band called, and maybe you've heard of this band, Norma Jean. Okay.
I've heard of them.
Okay. So this is early Norma Jean. The original singer, I think by this point left, and I think somebody else, someone that was actually local to Alabama had taken over.
I believe his name is Corey. I think.
No, it wasn't Corey. This was somebody else. This was before Corey, long before Corey. Anyway, well, so we had 2 local bands open up. Now, here's the problem. There's a small little venue. We had close to 200 people pay to get into this show. Now, keep in mind, look at my room here. I'm going to blow my room up here real quick. Now, you see the closet door here, and you see where this over to the side where you see the wasp thing behind me here. And and that's about the size of this room. So maybe multiply it by 2 because there's a wall in front of me. So multiply that room by 2 and you get an idea here. 200 people in this tiny little place, and dance pits broke out. Circle pits broke out. Now, 2 of them in this room. Now, one of the bands that opened up, it was this band called Ashes Fall. And they, they're trying to thrash around as much as they can on stage, in where they're playing as best they can. It's kind of tough, but they still tried to thrash around a little bit. Well, one of the guys, the one guitar player, he was thrashing so hard that his head connected with the bass player's headstock on his bass. And with his, with all the thrashing around, his adrenaline, he's like, you'd think he was like Eddie Guerrero after he got hit by that chair by JBL that time. Okay. And so he's like gushing blood, and he had a white shirt on, which made it even more creepier. But man, what a ridiculous scene. And then Norma Jean starts to play, and they're just like, there's like people all over the place trying to just thrash around and just, oh my God, it was ridiculous. Oh my gosh. It was like, I'm surprised if the fire marshal had come, we probably would, the people who put the show on would have been arrested, because there was no way you could fit this many people in this room and have mosh pits breaking out. Now, Ash has a big story here, so I'm gonna share this with everybody here. So there's a Guns N' Roses documentary about a Melbourne show in Australia. Back in 93, 80,000 people, 42 degrees. This is in 42 degrees Celsius, I'm guessing. No shelter, wasn't allowed to bring water in, only could buy food and drink inside the venue. 1,400 people in hospital.
Holy crap.
And then it rained for an hour, no nonstop, and the temperature dropped by 15 degrees Celsius. Yikes. Yeah, Joey, I don't know. Yeah. That Norma Jean story was crazy, but the Atkins story was crazy too. But yeah, so there you go. Go figure.
Speaking of crazy, that reminds me of the concert I went to last year. There was random people in banana costumes in a mosh pit, and then they found some dude dressed up like Jesus, and I lifted him up, and the banana guys lifted him up.
Oh God.
And then they started a Jesus chant in the middle of a Lorna Shore concert. And Lorna Shore's death metal. Deathcore, for those who don't know.
Right.
And that was the craziest mosh pit I've ever been to, too. Oh my goodness.
Wow.
There's like 3 walls of death that night. I didn't take part in any of them because I have a crappy heart, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah.
More about that later.
Right. So, all right. So let's you want me to tell another story, and we'll let you get to like the main event for yours, and we'll kind of wrap this down. So we could be here all night talking about our concert stories, but I don't
know. I've told most of the cool ones.
All right.
Speaking of disasters, the venue,
in
my city, is notorious for being a shithole. It's actually famous for being that. It doesn't exist anymore, I should say, but it was probably one of the worst venues in the world. It had one toilet and it was broken and covered in blood.
That sounds like a venue I was at one time, and we were supposed to see. I was seeing the Showdown, and I want to say it was Maylene and the Sons of Disaster. I can't remember, but wherever this place was, it was here in Birmingham. But man, this was I don't know if it was like I don't know if it was a strip joint at one time or if it was like a roller derby thing, but there was a lot of purple and there was just a lot of like really funky things going on in the decor of this place. And if you needed to go to the bathroom, you're just going to have to hold it because there was only like one urinal and it was demolished. So yeah, so that wasn't too good. So yeah, not fun, but um so go ahead with your main event story and
Well,
and I'll finish
I
it off.
got one more before that
Oh
because
well, good. Go
I'm
ahead.
gonna
Go ahead.
try to look for my prop picture because anyway, it's the first time I saw Metallica. I always told, but actually, before I go on and say how I told my wife first time I see them will be on the damn floor,
Mm-hmm.
which I said that to my friend many times. I passed up Metallica tickets because they weren't floor seats. I tried to get it on like 6 different computers because I was afraid of scalpers. Anyway,
Right.
the first time I saw Metallica is one of my favorites. And when I saw them, it was like it wasn't real. It was weird. It was like I could see like aura.
Right.
And people have energy, ladies and gentlemen. There's more to this world than what you think. But it was so weird. It was like almost like a out of body experience. So one funny story from that time was when one went off, my wife got really scared and jumped because I didn't feel like warning her about the fireworks and gunshots. It scared the crap out of her.
Oh boy.
And at the beginning of Metallica too,
Mm-hmm.
I didn't I guess I didn't know what I had in store for me, and I definitely didn't think of her. Everyone was like, and her face turned as red as the live sign that's saying how long we've been on for. I
Oh
thought
boy.
she was gonna die. I we had to go like down the floor a bit. I was like, holy shit.
Hmm.
Anyway, and then we danced to what became our wedding song, Nothing Else Matters. Why am I posing? Anyway, we slow dance at Metallica during Nothing Else Matters. Yeah, what am I, a Backstreet Boy?
I hope not.
Anyway, do you have one more?
Yeah, well, I probably have a couple different ones. So I was going to let you do when you get to the main event. Then I'll give you kind of I guess my main event of some sort. But so with me, so as a kid, I figured and no, folks, I'm not going to be talking about my Wasp shows. I've spoke ad nauseum about those. So I'm actually going to refrain from talking about Wasp tonight. So except for the one time, but no, I'm actually going to talk about and we danced to what became our wedding song, "Seek and Destroy." Oh yeah, there you go. That would have been perfect.
I think I
Um,
played that at our wedding, actually.
oh, there you go. I got to now a lot as a lot of people who have followed my channel or know me, they know that my go-to band and as a child was Kiss. But I never got to see Kiss in their heyday because I was too young. And my mom and dad didn't want me to, they didn't want me to be at shows like that and, and school nights and all these different things. So I never got to go to a, Kiss concert until much later in my life. And I finally got to see them on October 1st, 1992. And I could have gone to see them like on the Animalized tour with Queensryche. Everybody in school went to that show. Did I get to go? No. Thanks, Mom and Dad. But anyway, but I finally got to see a member of Kiss on July 28th of 1987 in the form of Fraley's Comet. And they were opening for Cinderella. Now, I'm going to go big again here. There's my ticket stub from that night. Row G Look at the price tag on that. $13.50. 1987, folks. When's the last time you paid $13.50 for a concert ticket, right?
Or anything.
Or anything for that matter. So this was like 8th row, and from the stage, center stage. And so, and my girlfriend at the time, she's like, well, doesn't look like you're going to get to see a smoking guitar. It was during Ace's set. And he pulls out this black Les Paul. I'm like, if it was available to me to have said this, and if I was a drinking man, which I wasn't because I'm still 18 at the time, or I wasn't 21 yet, I would have said, hold my beer. You're about to see it. And what does he start playing? Shock Me, which of course that's what leads into the solo. That brings the smoking guitar. I was a happy camper. Yeah, Ace was great. Cinderella, they weren't bad. Tom Kiefer kept dropping his guitar the entire time and it would be tossed to him. I think he dropped it twice. So, yeah, he wasn't having a good night, but I didn't think Cinderella was all that good. But I was supposed to see Cinderella again with Winger and Bullet Boys opening up, and standing outside the venue, and all of a sudden all the security people come out. Yeah, concert's been canceled. Kiefer's voice was blown, and he couldn't perform, and so the whole concert got canceled. I'd be like, well, can't Bullet Boys and Winger just play? Forget Cinderella. I saw them already. Anyway, that didn't happen. So I would then see Kiss three times. I would see them October 1st, 1992 up in Bethlehem, Pennsylvania. Wish I had the concert stub, but I don't. I'm not sure what happened to that stub. I saw them again, and that was on their first taste. That was the first Taste of Revenge show. I would then see them October 8th, 1996 on the reunion tour. So I got to see the 4 original band members. And then I would see them again on that same tour, but this time up in Baltimore. That first one was up in Philly, and but this one was in Baltimore. Now this was a little bit more expensive. This was like $50 for a like a second level show seat, and this was like 97. So this was a little bit more expensive, but I got to see them twice on that reunion tour, and I've never seen them since. For Philly, there was an opening band called the Bogmen. And thankfully, we didn't get to see them. But however, we did get to hear what the Philadelphia crowd thought of them. They were being mercilessly booed off the stage.
That reminds me of me skipping Corey Feldman because I heard how terrible he was. And then my friend texted me, this is the worst thing I've ever heard in my life.
Yeah.
And I said, well, I warned you.
Well, the funny story with this show was, this was back in the day. Again, with Ticketmaster, the only way you could get tickets was calling on the phone. Who remembers that out there, folks? And trying to get through. Finally, I was able to get through, and I got 4 tickets. So imagine the belt that you see behind me is the stage. I had tickets for this. We would have been center stage. However, we were in the second to last row in the very back of the arena. All the way up at the top, literally up at the nosebleeds. And we had gone with another couple, and the girl of the couple was like, oh, I can't. She's like, she had some kind of like anxiety or some kind of thing where she was like, no, I can't. There's no way I could be all the way up here. This is just going to be, I'm going to be physically sick. And so we went down to like guest services, and they were nice enough to take us to like a box seat, box clubs area. And we got to sit in there for that show, and it was a lot more comfortable and it was a better seat. So that was pretty cool. when I saw them again in Baltimore, we had we came with a different couple this time. But that time Powerman 5000 opened up for them.
That's better.
That's better, but Baltimore was still trying to boo them off. They weren't as interested in them. And it's funny because they would be on Ozfest 97, which I'm going to get to in just a second. But yeah, so that was the times I got to see them. So there you go. So Roger, I'm going to let you end off with your main event, and I'll give you my main event.
And this is probably the stupidest thing I've ever done. So I saw Metallica in April, and well, I brought this sign, and I don't know if you could read it.
I'm going to blow it up here real quick.
But it says, "I delayed my heart surgery to be here." Yep. I delayed heart surgery.
That man, Metal Roger, you are as hardcore as Tommy Dreamer.
Oh. And the best part is my heart's actually way worse than what we do.
Oh, God.
But, first, the story of how I did it. The nurse called me for a date, and then she said, blah, blah, blah. And I said, well, that's a week before Metallica. Or I said, that's a week before a concert. And I said, I don't think that's a complete sane idea to go to a concert after healing from heart surgery. I have floor seats. I said, can we delay it? And she said, yes. Who's the band now? And I said, Metallica. And then she said, I understand. And laughed. And she said, do you at least have good seats? And I said, yeah, I'm on the floor. So day one, I was on the floor, and I met a bunch of people, and a bunch of people took my picture because they thought that was the craziest fucking thing they've ever seen. Because it is. I'm an idiot.
No, you're not.
No, I'm not. What my hat says, possibly. My wife wasn't happy. She said, you should sell your ticket instead of going to Metallica. I said, no. I said, that's not happening. I said, I'd rather die in the crowd than skip it. And I met a bunch of cool people that night.
Yeah.
My friend Leroy, who I torment all the time. Poor guy. Poor guy. He's probably not even watching this. Anyway, the second day, my good friend, who I will never be able to repay this, ended up hooking me up with the snake pit ticket.
Nice.
And that was the craziest thing I've ever experienced in my life. I told die in the crowd and ruin the show for it. No, that's true. I didn't think of that. But I knew I wouldn't die. Okay, so the full story about my heart, which I've never really told anyone on whatever the hell I'm on. I have a hole in my heart. I'm not going to randomly drop dead, but I do need surgery eventually.
Right.
Open heart. Because they went through my groin and yeah. They couldn't plug it with the device. The hole is much bigger than what we thought, so that's fun.
Right.
Anyway.
So I have two questions. One, did the surgery room have a machine that goes bing? And did they also use the most expensive machine in the hospital?
I don't know. Actually, where I'm going, it's actually one of the best hospitals in the world for heart stuff.
Monty Python fans will get that joke. So sorry, I just did a.
I didn't get it. I'm not gonna lie.
It's a meaning of life joke. So yeah.
But anyway, that snake pit thing was crazy, and I got to meet one of my heroes.
It's nice.
His name's George Stropolopoulos. He was what the hell I guess they're called VJs, the MTV people.
Oh yeah.
Down there. Yeah, he was for our MTV.
Right.
But he was super cool. He made me take he didn't make me. He asked, can I take a picture of that? And I said, sure. And then he was like, you have to show the woman. And I figured you would know. Yes, Much Music.
All right.
Anyway, I don't know if it's his girlfriend or someone, but he made me show her, and she yells, "No, that's so unhealthy. That's untrue, isn't it?" And I'm like, no. I'm like, you only live once, supposedly, unless you're Hindu or and you get sent back to snail. But who knows what the truth is? Anyway, I got these pics from her. What a nice lady.
Nice. Very nice.
And like seeing James Hetfield play right directly ahead of you when you freaking walk into the snake pit
Yeah.
was like the craziest. I like, you know what's terrible? My Samsung phone was on the spritz, and I was like, I think I should get a phone in between the Metallica days. And then I was like, nah, nothing crazy is gonna happen. But yeah, no, I shouldn't. The beginning of the story too, I've kind of said it wrong. 2 people gave me the snake pit tickets.
Right.
And I cannot, I still get like choked up about it. Like I can't thank them enough. But Lars saw my sign the first night, and Lars got all choked up. And then the second night, when I was actually, first night story, I was holding up the sign. James starts talking about a Make-A-Wish kid.
Oh, God.
And I'm like, oh, I feel like I shouldn't be holding up this sign anymore. Because that kid's probably actually truly
worse off, maybe.
maybe. Honestly, the fact that I can work out and do everything I do is really a blessing. So
right.
I can't complain. Anyway, Kirk saw it the second night and laughed. It was like yeah. I'd rather people laugh than get sad.
Yeah. I get you.
It was probably the craziest thing they've ever seen at a concert. It's probably top 5.
Yeah,
it's true. Probably. I did it. My wife's still mad at me. She says, no more concert tickets because you don't know when your surgery is. Yeah. So Bruce is my last concert until I figure out when the surgery is.
Right. Well, so my last story that or stuff that I'll talk about, and I think I've talked about this a few times, but I actually have something else I want to show with this. So I mentioned earlier that if I could go back in time, I would want to see Ozzy with Randy, and because I never did. However, so I'm going to make myself big here. So this ticket here, this is the first time that I got to see Ozzy, June 14th, 1989. Yeah. You know, it's funny, Helgard, I've never was at a show where I was able to see that happen. The girls part, that is. I never got lucky with that. So anyway. So yes, June 14th, 1989, at the Wicomico Youth and Civic Center, Salisbury, Maryland. Vixen and White Lion were the opening acts. Now, I get told that I show up to Camelot Music, which was at the mall, and which is across the street from the Civic Center. It's no longer there now. It's been long bulldozed over. But I get there to hang out before the show, and I find out that a keyboard player, an offstage keyboard player, and I think either the bassist or the drummer from Vixen had showed up at Camelot Music. I missed him, unfortunately. So I'm like, well, let me hang out here for a while. Well, guess who happens to walk in? James Lomenzo and Greg D'Angelo from White Lion. Check that out. I grabbed a sticky note and I got Lomenzo and D'Angelo's signatures. And I got to talk to Lomenzo a little bit. And he's kind of short. He was shorter than me. He was probably only about maybe 5'7", 5'8". So he wasn't really all that tall. He built pretty good though. But
like me.
Yeah. But I got to talk to him for a little bit. He was pretty cool. Hung around for a while. Was hoping somebody from Ozzy's crew was going to show up. That didn't happen. So Vixen takes the stage. We were pretty close to the stage, but the crowd was like doing that, pushing it against the stage, and so the person I was with, well, yeah, that was she felt a little scared to be a part of all of that, and I don't blame her. So we retreated behind the crowd so that we wouldn't get squished or anything like that. And we saw White Lion from behind the crowd. We saw Ozzy from behind the crowd. White Lion was great. That was probably the best time I saw Ozzy. The second time, I'm going to blow myself back up again. I'm just going to finish this out. This would be the second time I would see them. I would see Ozzy, June 22nd, 1996, Montage Mountain up in the Scranton area. Filter and Prong were the opening acts. I barely remember Prong's set, and Filter, everything kept sounding like, "Hey man, nice shot," and until they finally played it. Ozzy this night sounded awful. Zach was not in the band at this point. I think it was Joe Holmes or it was somebody else, but Zach was not in the band at this point. This wasn't a good night. I've also mentioned John the Music Nut was also at this concert, and he also agreed with me that Ozzy did not sound good that night. And then my last and final time I got to see Ozzy was Ozfest 97. This is up in the Camden, New Jersey area. And this was a good thing. Let me see. I mentioned Powerman 5000 opened up, was there. Fear Factory, Machine Head, Pantera, Typo Negative, and then Ozzy. Well, actually, it was Typo Negative, then Pantera, Ozzy, and then Tony and Geezer came out and played a set of Sabbath songs with Mike Borden on drums.
Manson played that year too.
What's that?
Marilyn Manson played that year too.
He played that year, but he didn't come in until about a week or so after my show. So we did not get to be a part of. We didn't see Marilyn Manson at that one. But there was a second stage, and that's where I saw Drain STH. I believe Cold Chamber was on that, and there was a few other bands that I don't remember because we didn't stay for the second stage. We skipped Powerman 5000 because we'd already seen them, but I wanted to see Drain STH, and they were amazing. They were so good. But Ozzy sounded okay that night, but the best time I saw him was on that 89 show for the No Rest for the Wicked tour. But and I never saw Ozzy again after that. And that's kind of life changed a lot for me after that. So I did not get to see a lot of secular shows for a long time. But yeah, there you go, folks. So that was that's some concert memories we've got. So, for anybody who's watched, who goes back and watches this, please share something in the comments. I'd love to see some stuff. Please give some likes. Thanks in advance for doing all that. I like, share, subscribe, do all those lovely things that we all do with the YouTube talk. And Roger, thank you for this topic. And let's see, what did Helgard have to say? He definitely had the energy for those shows. I'll give him that. He just didn't sound that good. But yeah. So Roger, thank you for bringing this topic up. And we keep talking that we're gonna do something with Ben and hopefully Jason. We can do some stuff with some stuff we've been conjuring up there. So that's still in the works. And
I'll randomly appear wherever I'm asked.
That's right. Yeah. When Mike Ladonna wants to bring you on, and you're always welcome on here as well. So folks, again, I appreciate everybody who watched. Thank you for everybody in the live chat, Helgard, Ash, Kristen, and Kevin Garland earlier on,
and my fans,
Joey and Becky and Kyle and everybody. Thank you all for tuning in. I appreciate it. I'll come back at y'all next week. We'll see what kind of topic I come up with. So for Metal Roger, John Clauser, Johnny Metal, the Metal Dad, let's ride us out. Let's have a little, and we will see y'all. Rock forever, y'all. We'll see y'all next week.